Good morning, Nicole. I'm having some struggles with the buttons, and I'm having struggles with the music. Good morning, nation.
I like it. It's like whimsical.
Thank you. I thought it was, hey, it's Rest and Recovery Wednesday.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, so I think I've just officially branded Wednesdays for us on the show. Oh, by the way, on the show today, what is neurodiversity?
I did see that, and I've heard that word, but I don't really know what it means.
Oh, I love it. So those are listening. Nicole's Googling it, or maybe perplexing it, or maybe ChatGPT, but she's looking it up right now on the air, which I love. So we're going to get into, I had an awesome guest yesterday on the show, Nicole. Catherine McCord joined me, and we talked neurodiversity. Very open, very vulnerable, funny. So I got a clip that started the show, and then I'm gonna I don't know. It's a number of minutes of my conversation with Catherine yesterday. She was exceptional, eye-opening to me about neurodiversity, people that are neurodiverse. It was a great educational segment for me, frankly, and I think for everybody. So I want to share that, which we'll share that coming up later today. And I got something else for you.
Awesome.
So we're tearing apart your LinkedIn profile tomorrow.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I also saw that I have the wrong branding on the show. I'm sorry, business. There we go. I'm disrespecting Nicole. It's not just the Keith show. It's the Keith and Nicole show. It's funny because I was talking to somebody yesterday. And they said, so does Nicole know what she got herself into? I'm like, I think so.
She doesn't.
I said, I think so. I said, so what happens if we get to a point where Nicole's like, this ain't working out? I'm like, well, I guess we'll just have to publicly discuss it and digest it on the air and move out Nicole 1 to Nicole 2, or we can replace Keith with Joe and it could be the Joe Nicole show. Or maybe she's going to say, I think it would work better with Benton and Nicole.
Oh God. Yeah. We've worked together before. I don't know about that.
To those that are wondering, Nicole's husband, Benton. So we got a few things today to chat about. We're going to talk about neurodiversity. And like I said, we are going to invite to tomorrow. Sorry, I'm all over. It's Rest and Recovery Wednesday. Naomi Rose Everly. She's going to join us tomorrow, live here on the mornings, and she's going to rip apart, tear down, observe, critique, help. Have some fun with your LinkedIn profile.
Awesome. Is she going to come every Thursday? Do we know?
That would be the ambition. My ambition would be is we schedule it, we invite others, and we say, hey, would you like a free takedown like Keith had his done? And if you look at her post today, we'll do a little meta thing here. So she posted today our discussion yesterday, yours and my discussion with her yesterday on the show. She posted about that, and she posted about my takedown, which was fantastic because it allowed me to revisit our discussion and go back and improve the things that I need to improve upon. So she's going to do yours tomorrow. And then I know that Naomi is open to coming back regularly. We'd love to have, Nation join up and say, hey, Keith, hey, Nicole. I want to come on the show and I want to have my LinkedIn profile observed by Naomi and have it and help me improve it. So and we'll have some fun with it. We're here to entertain, not just inform.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So that's going to be tomorrow. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I am too. So yeah, that'll be fun. I decided I'm doing the Goggins challenge starting tomorrow. So I might be a little, I don't know, gross because it's going to come straight from my first run to the show. So just giving you a heads up and everybody else.
Awesome.
I might not look as put together, although I'm hardly put together at 5 a.m, but
you're doing spectacular. We're just managing expectations. And I'm hoping, Nicole, that people have us on in the gym, maybe. Gyms around the world. Streaming morning live with Keith and Nicole. So tell me about the Goggins challenge.
Yeah, it's 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. I don't know. One time I did it like I started going towards the end, you're just like in agony and you want to get it over. Like you want to just die quicker. So I just started doing it 2 hours. And so some of the hours might be closer. I'm going to see if I can do it in like 30, 32 hours or less, but we'll see. So, and I will keep y'all posted.
Okay. So let's just, I'm sure if everybody's really just fully paying attention. So those that have us on in the background, which I'm welcoming people having this on in the background, listening to us, welcome this in their day. You're telling me that you're doing how many miles and how many hours?
So it's a total of it's total of 48 miles within 48 hours is typically the challenge, but I'm going to try and like that. I'm trying to do it quicker.
Yeah. All right.
For a few reasons. Yeah. I need to get it done. It's harder that way. So I've done it like 4 times. And so every time I'm like, how can I make this slightly harder? I was going to do the weighted vest. Remember, I don't think I can do that. I took that out the other day. I was like, no. So if I could do it in like, I don't know, 30 hours or less, we'll see. That's kind of my goal in my head.
Yes. To those of you that don't know, when I first met Nicole, I invited her on the show because I'm like, hey, I read that you ran 48 miles in 48 hours. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, why don't you come talk about it? So now Nicole's revealing to me she wants to go faster because she's got shit to get done. So anybody listening right now, yeah, just hang out with Nicole. She'll help you get shit done. Not 48 miles in 48 hours. We do 32 in 3 hours.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
That's inspiring though. What's your drive on that? Like I love that ambition. I know when we first met, that struck me about you is that you take challenges and you just face them head on. What's the drive, Nicole?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like trying to push myself to do things that are really hard and they really suck. Like, I don't know, there's that book, Embrace the Suck. I don't know. And there's just something I feel like I learn both about myself mentally and physically when I put myself through something like that. Like, granted, I'm not saying everybody should do it and you should probably talk to a doctor if you're like new to running or new to anything that you're really trying. But I don't know, there's just something that happens that like breaks down when you get to a point that you have to keep going, even though you really don't want to. And I've just found that really inspires me and kind of like unlocks a level almost. And so it's a brutal challenge, but I look forward to it in a weird way. So, yeah.
I can relate to that. And it's like we've talked on the air, I hate running but I've been doing it because A, I'm grateful that I'm able to do it.
Yeah.
And B, it's because I hate it. And I'm old enough now and mature enough to know that there's going to be a day that I can't do it. So even if I hate it, I'm going to be grateful for trying to do it. Listen, I'm not trying to be Usain Bolt. I'm just running, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I hate it. I absolutely. It's probably one of the worst. You ask me to run to the, I don't know, run to the peanut butter jar. I'll run, but yeah,
run from the cops. I mean,
that's it. Yeah, but just this idea of running is just not my thing. So, but embracing uncomfortability.
Yes, that's I guess that's the whole thing. Yeah, it's not really the running. I mean, it obviously is a little bit, but it's so much more that breaking through and embracing and pushing yourself.
Which is the theme for business, isn't it, Nicole? Because I know you're successful in business. You and your husband run a farm, a brewery. You're successful, have a marketing business right now. That underlying theme is going, isn't it? Just constantly going.
Yeah, totally. It is. It's going, and it's going when you're uncomfortable. It's going when you feel like you want to give up. I mean, like when we lost the farm, I mean, it felt like the rug was like ripped out from underneath us, and our kids were super little. Like that was what. We were building and we were getting places. We had no other like backup plan. So, it's kind of like similar. It's just like, I don't know. So then you get there and you're like, well, what do I do now? And you just keep going, even though you don't really know where you're going. And then it kind of starts to open. And so, yeah.
Yeah. That's, I can't imagine how humbling that was when somebody knocks on your door and says, we're taking the farm, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and actually, we had kind of, yeah. But I mean, the whole thing. I mean, it was like a public hearing that I think I told you again.
The whole thing, yeah, just the whole
birthday,
thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was crazy. But everything. Looking back, I'm glad it happened now that I can see where we are now. So everything happens for a reason, I feel like.
We tackle challenges, right? And tackle them, address them, and move forward, right? So that's exactly it. So one of the themes this morning, Nicole, before we take our first break here this morning, is I continue to build structure around our show. Y'all listening, you're all seeing improvements right in front of you. And it's this idea of building in the open. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan. So, and what I'm meaning to those of you that are listening right now, you're witnessing and watching a business being built, attempting, more than likely being built and successfully being built right in front of your eyes. So I'm inviting you to consider a few things that I want to consider, want to throw out there for you. So Nicole, like we've been consistently showing up now for 8 days.
It feels like a year, but yes, 8 days.
No intention of stopping. Building an audience in the mornings. People are knocking on my door saying, hey, I like what you guys are doing. I like what you, Nicole, are doing. It's a nice way to start my day, putting you guys on the background, surfing LinkedIn, surfing YouTube. It's a nice way to start my morning. Just like a normal morning show. We're talking business topics, health, athletic topics, motivating, accountable topics, right? Performance related, lifestyle, longevity, just those principles that I think appeal to you and your demographic, me, my demographic, and the principles that I believe, and I know you believe, Nicole, that help build a business.
Yeah.
And help build a human being.
Yep, totally.
So here's the proposition I'm throwing out there to Business Athlete Nation, to LinkedIn, to YouTube. And I'm going to say this building in the open topic, we're shooting a commercial right now that we're going to chop up and display it to the world in a few moments later on today. It's about this. What do you think of this? So we have the B, the A, the P, and the L. We have the 4 letters. How about, here's the challenge to everybody listening. Oh, here's the hook. How about if we said, like, for the first month, the first sponsor that believes in Keith and Nicole, we're going to give you the B letter and own the B for 15 minutes, 14 minutes, and restream and over. And you know how I work. We give lots. We're going to give lots of content, Nicole. $1,000 first month.
That's awesome.
$1,000 for the A, $1,000 for the P, $1,000 for the L. Now, listen, we don't have the biggest audience. I get it, but we use that money to buy some ads, continue building the audience, and help you as the sponsor. What's in it for you? Well, you're going to get lots of exposure. We're going to talk about the hell out of you. We'll bring you on. We'll do things together. We'll collaborate. Yeah. Maybe you're a creator, an entrepreneur, a solopreneur. You get access to me and Nicole all the time. So maybe that's value to you. I don't know. No, I'm not going to go. No, we're not going to go spend the $4,000 buying Benton and Lauren gifts. They're listening right now going, what?
Like, huh?
Wait a minute. They're not? No. Oh, but hey, here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking, Nicole. If you wait around till month 2 or month 3 as a sponsor, I think it goes up to like $2,000 per month, $3,000 per month. So by the time we get to the 12th month and we're building the audience, you're coming in late to the party, you're spending $12,000 a month.
Yeah.
So there's my commercial. Just kind of created that out in the open in front of everybody. I thought about that over the first cup of coffee. I'm like, this would be a great way to engage humans, collaborate, and again, don't know if it's going to work, but it's really not the point of it working. It's the point of finding people, sponsors, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, humans, collaborators that see the belief in what we're building here in the open.
Yeah.
You have a track record. I have a track record. We're just not the couple schmoes that just showed up yesterday.
Yeah. And we're committed and we're pretty transparent,
100%. Yeah. So that's exact. So we'll put the money to advertising. We'll put the money to sponsorship. We'll put the money to investing back in your brand. So if you want to partner and collaborate with us, I invite you to knock on Nicole's door, knock on my door. And I promise you, it's only going to get more expensive. Because that's just how business works. So, sure. All right. So, hey, listen, we did a great job building the first 14 minutes.
That flew by.
Let's break for a minute, grab a coffee, and then why don't we come back and why don't we bring in the segment from yesterday's show about what is neurodiversity? You and I have a chat about it. Let's then introduce the segment that I had with Catherine yesterday, and then let's just show the audience some of that conversation I had with Catherine about neurodiversity and how I think it's going to be one of those helpful things for people to create awareness with today.
Yeah.
Awesome. Does that work? Let's do it. Okay, hang tight. Let's just do this. Let's go break. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we're back here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Nicole. You know, we drop here every Monday to Friday is the plan. And I seem to have lost my mouths. There it is right there. Bring up Nicole. All right, Nicole. So what do you think is neurodiversity? Where does that fall in your understanding of what it is? What is neurodiversity?
Is it when people are like sensitive to like, I'm not, okay, I don't know. The only reason I kind of slightly feel like I know what it means is because I found a podcast about it recently that I was pitching for a client.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So let me help you with that. So I did a little bit of perplexity this morning. You know how I like my AI tools. I got to be honest. Little tip for Business Athlete Nation. Again, here's a little short. Here's the kind of content you're going to get sponsored. So if you're sponsoring our show and you're like the AI sponsor who falls in the AI category, you might be recognizing that Keith's going to plug your stuff right now. Mm-hmm. So Nicole, I've been using Perplexity. Okay. Better than Google. Maybe even better than, so it brings in ChatGPT, Claude, all the platforms. It's awesome. Oh my goodness. It is eating Google's lunch. Anyway, so neurodiversity is a concept that recognizes and celebrates the diversity of how people experience and interact with the world. Okay.
Yes, that's way better than what I was mumbling.
Yeah. Emphasizing that there's no single right way of thinking, learning, or behaving. I love this part because it encourages us to accept everybody, really. It views differences in neurological functioning, such as autism, spectrum disorder, ADHD, or learning disabilities, not as deficits, Nicole, but as natural variations in the human brain.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So I had Catherine record yesterday, self-described, self-designed. I'm neurodiverse, and she's talked openly about it. So I invite let's take a couple clips from yesterday's show to show the audience and invite everybody to go watch that episode with myself and Catherine. But here's how it started yesterday. Let me just pull this up here. Just having problems with the buttons today. I forgot the hook. Catherine McCord joining us today live in the lab. She was off in the bathroom, but she's here now. What's going on, nation? God, I'm all confused today. You know why? I got to tell you why. I've been doing this morning show. It's just setting me off. Mornings in the lab, Keith and Nicole. Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. Maybe Catherine McCord will tune in. The innovator, the business innovator. We're going to have a chat about business innovation, HR, diversity, inclusion. I have opinions on that. I think we're going to have some fun today. Catherine strikes me as somebody who's authentic, somebody who's raw, somebody who's real, and somebody who gets shit done. It strikes me that way. I read something on her LinkedIn post, and she hired somebody at their job. So if you have somebody that's working for you and you're not taking care of them, and Catherine McCord's walking through your place, you're probably fucked, because she's probably going to hire them. So take care of your people. Just take care of your people. To neurodiversity. Yeah. I really want to jump into neurodiversity with you.
Yeah, so, it fascinates people.
It does. So to those that don't know what neurodiversity is, Catherine McCord, take a page and explain what neurodiversity is, why it interests you, and the impact, you know, that's having on the world.
So neurodiversity is utterly mind-blowing to me. I love spending time with this. This is what I do even in my spare time. I love this stuff so much. So neurodiversity is a medically visible and or diagnosable difference in how the brain processes information. So this is going to go anywhere from the medical spectrum of like cerebral palsy, MS, that type of thing, over to the learning side of things, which is autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia, etc., over into mental health. So think bipolar, obsessive compulsive disorder, et cetera. And what's fascinating is that now that science is kind of catching up, a lot of us in the community already kind of knew this, but now science is catching up, and you can look these studies up with Johns Hopkins, National Institute of Health, National Library of Medicine, the list goes on, talking about the benefits of neurodiversity. So what they figured out is that the mind, just like the body, is designed to compensate itself. So if this over here isn't our strength, then we'll be strong over here. And so what happens oftentimes is you end up with some very predominant strengths, specifically as a result of the neurodiversity. And so kind of what the neurodiversity movement, if you could call it that, is about understanding that yes, there may be these complications, possibly even some disability aspect, but then there's also these incredible abilities, and that yes, this is something that you want in the workplace. Hewlett Packard released their study that when they fully supported people that were neurodiverse, so they embraced universal inclusion, productivity on that, and they did one team at a time, by the way. They wanted to like really see how it worked in comparison to other teams. That team became over 30% more productive than other teams. They were happier, they were healthier, and retention went up, and so did creativity. So it works. And so that's kind of the evangelization that we're all moving towards right now.
So it works, in quotes.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And it's interesting. Like they even think now that there's a possibility that this is the direction that human evolution is going, and that's why we're seeing the uptick in diagnoses. Is that the nature or God or whatever it is that you believe in, the universe is saying, hey, this is the direction humanity is going. So these are the new skills that you need. So this is what we're going to further. So it's kind of interesting. That one's not proven yet, but there is a lot of evidence to support it.
What do you say to somebody who looks at you with cross eyes about neurodiversity? They're like, what, Catherine? Like they're looking at you with an airplane flying over their head, and they're like, nah, go smoke another one there, Catherine.
I laugh, and I'm like, okay, so let's look at examples. Let's look at all the extraordinary people who have neurodiversity. They're highly successful. I mean, you have everybody from Richard Branson, who runs the Virgin Empire over there, right? Maya Angelou was neurodiverse. Albert Einstein, Tesla, Alan Turing, all these wonderful, wonderful people, even into the comedians that we love and enjoy. Dan Aykroyd is on the autism spectrum, but a lot of people don't know that. They think that autistic people can't be funny, they can't be interesting, and I'm like, false.
You've mentioned two people on that list who are within that spectrum: Dan Aykroyd, Elon Musk, who has Asperger's. So, are you saying to me that when you're speaking of neurodiversity, you're also speaking about the autism spectrum?
Well, that's part of it. So that's one diagnostic spectrum that can be involved. So like I said, it can be everything from dyslexia, obsessive compulsive, all the way to cerebral palsy, anything that affects how your neurons process information and stimuli. So it's a very broad spectrum. Diagnosed, you're looking at about 20% of the population, but it's estimated to be about 30 to 33% of the population that actually is neurodiverse.
Catherine, if one is neurodiverse, are they, in air quotes again for anybody listening, are they normal or are they not?
I think that everybody in the community would say no. We would say we are neurospicy. That's one of the new fun words that's kind of come out. So we do function differently than other people. We tend to have a different way to communicate, but we're normal from the standpoint of we have all the same base needs, all the same basic desires as everybody else. We do have a lot of the same abilities. In fact, a lot of people think of primarily disability with this community, but what they don't realize is that the bulk of the disability is societal disability, which means that it's imposed by society. It has nothing to do with the individual. And imagine if you got a lion, right, the king of the jungle. You cannot argue that is a magnificent, powerful, wonderful animal, right? And you threw it into a giant tank built for an orca. And then you're like, well, why are you drowning? Why do you suck? Why are you such a bad orca? Like, well, it's a freaking lion, right? You have to put it in the environment that was designed for it. And so that's why we talk a lot about universal design. And this does not just apply to the neurodiverse community, it applies for everybody. But universal design is important because that's what sets everybody up for success. And that's what Hewlett Packard did in order to create that wonderful success in the workplace. So a lot of people, when they think disability, yes, there can be physical disability. There absolutely can be. There can be other types of disability as well. But a lot of the disability that we experience is that societal. So it's more that we just need to shift our thinking and our design.
Does somebody, oops, I just lost my camera there. There we go. Does somebody know if they're neurodiverse?
Not always. So I have an aunt that just figured it out, and she's in her 60s.
And hold on, and you said, and just figured it out.
Yeah. She always knew she was different, and she always knew that she had these, what she called her little quirks about her, and these little differences, and that she had certain struggles when she went to school. But what she did not know was that there was a name to it, or that there was a diagnosis to it. And part of that is that for the longest period of time, so most people that are neurodiverse know that something's different, right? They know that something is a little bit different about them, but they don't necessarily understand that there's a diagnosis to go with it. Part of that is that for years, up until the late 90s and somewhat into the early 2000s, the diagnostic criteria for a lot of these conditions was completely based on one particular demographic. And so like women were not even included in this. So for like forever, they didn't think that women could even have autism. That wasn't a thing. And so, that was true of other diagnoses as well. So now that the medical and scientific communities have expanded their pool when they're trying to understand the diagnoses, now we're starting to see more appropriate diagnoses. We're starting to see more appropriate treatments. We're starting to see more appropriate acceptance and just going, oh yeah, this isn't even really a big deal. We just need to steer into it instead of away from it.
Catherine, are we quick to diagnose or are we quick to label? Because to me, there's a difference, right? So, and society is so quick to label. Label. Oh, Catherine's neurodiverse. Oh, Keith's autistic. Oh, Joe's got this. And we're just, Sammy's bipolar. And the moment we put a label on them, we judge them. We put them on, we frame them out in our mind. And in many ways, we're done with them because we've made a decision about them. And sometimes, today we live in a world where, oh, Catherine's on the left. Okay, she's over there. Oh, Keith's over there. She's over there. And we're so quick to label. So I this is why I was excited to have this chat today. And I think that's why people, I hope, like the kind of content I'm trying to put out here, which is I want to go. I want to be curious, and I want to challenge what we're talking about. And I knew we were going to talk neurodiversity, and I knew you were going to go down the path of diagnosis. And I'm like, yeah, but isn't it just a fucking label? So that shows you, Nicole, our conversation yesterday with Catherine McCord. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. I love that it's being discussed more, and like how she said, it can be, it's more of like a societal disability. And so now that I feel like once they're breaking down the barriers of that, it'll be so much, easier for people with that, are neurodiverse to be able to just excel. And not that they're not excelling now, but, just, I don't know, just a whole new.
Creating awareness, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And encouraging. So what she taught me, and I really encourage anybody tuning in right now to go check out yesterday's show. It's in the LinkedIn feed. I'll be publishing it on YouTube in next probably a couple of weeks or so, and on the podcast platforms. But if you need to find it right now, I invite you to check it out on LinkedIn. What she really taught me was, and she said to me, Nicole, if I would have came into today's show and something I was struggling with one of my symptoms, I would have told you, and I just would have needed you to not accept it, but just have awareness with it. And one of them was maybe my eyes bother me today and I can't look at the camera. So she was great. She was fantastic. I invite anybody to check out yesterday's episode with Catherine here in the LinkedIn feed. It'll be up on YouTube and so forth. All right, Nicole, let's take a break. Let's take a 1-minute break, refresh coffee, restroom break, whatever we need to do here within this minute or so. It happens fast. When we come back, let's dig into, are you sleep deprived? How are people really using generative AI? How are they really using it? Do you wonder? Like, I know that we've talked about it. I know that, we're doing some teachings on it, right? Mm-hmm. How are people really using it? 5 fitness challenges you can do in a day.
Nice.
So if you're like, hey, I need to get something done today, you can, boom.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. Yeah. And have you heard of the Barclay Marathons? It started today. We can talk about that too.
Let's talk about it. Okay. Barclay Marathon coming up as well. And then we are going to, in the second half of the show, the second feature of the show. So first feature was neurodiversity. Yeah. Second feature, we are going to, so Nicole has an awesome podcast, business, Bubbles and Biz. We are going to take Bubbles and Biz and welcome her and her business into Business Athlete Performance at Baffle Headquarters, the world's first creator space, hybrid space, where you can come and hang out and collaborate. Hey, listen, if you're listening and you're like, I'd like to go knock on Keith's door or go knock on Nicole's door and see if they're available for a quick 2-second chat, I got the place for you where virtually I'm there all of the time. Mm-hmm. So if you want to get a piece of me, and I'm not something special. I just show up and I might have a few tips of advice, might make some suggestions, recommendations. I've gone through my journey in life. I know Nicole has as well. As you guys know. You come join us in headquarters. You might run into Nicole in the hallway. You might run Keith into the hallway. You might see his office is open. Come pop in. So stick around for the second half. We're going to show you Baffle Headquarters. We're going to talk about the fitness challenge, how people are really using generative AI, the Barclay challenge Nicole's going to talk about, and introducing BAPL HQ. We'll see you guys in around a minute. All right, Keith and Nicole back here. Mornings in the lab. Get your coffee refreshed, Nicole?
No, I didn't.
I have this Miele coffee maker in my kitchen. Oh. It takes, it's a built-in one on the wall. I love coffee, but I really got to time out my coffee because it's not just a quick old Yeah, it takes some time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Minutes not enough.
No, no, I have to sprint.
You know what? Good segue to this. If you want to sponsor Keith and Nicole and you want to sponsor Mornings in the Lab, we're finding that a minute isn't enough for us to make our coffee. So if you want to sponsor the business section, the A section of our show, the P section, the L section, or just our coffee section.
Yeah, send us coffee. That would work too. I would take coffee.
Absolutely take coffee. Yeah. So we can have a coffee sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
And because we take longer than a minute,
yes,
we could maybe run like a minute and a half commercial sponsoring you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So just throwing it out there that if y'all thinking about wanting to get involved with Keith and Nicole here Mornings in the Lab and wanting to get with the Business Athlete Performance Lab, again, I remind you tomorrow, if you're a collaborator or entrepreneur, you want to get your message out to our audience and you want to build with us, we're only going to continue to build and show up every single day. So whether you hear this today on Wednesday or next Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, and we're going to keep showing up, one of these days you're going to go, yeah, I got to get involved with these guys. Because you know who has, Nicole, is Naomi Rose Everly, who tomorrow is going to break down your LinkedIn profile.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole's going to spend the day today fixing it. So Naomi doesn't have to spend too much time breaking it down. So if you want to get involved with that and have your LinkedIn profile broken down, join us tomorrow. And I invite you to DM me. Naomi, we're breaking it down weekly in the lab. So you can get a free consult, improve your LinkedIn presence.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on improving mine and I'm seeing the impact.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. It's just the landing page.
Yep, it is.
All right. So Nicole, the Barclay Marathon, the Barclay Challenge.
Have you heard of that?
I have not. Tell me.
Oh, they say it's the world's craziest ultramarathon. So you don't know when it's going to start. You don't know when it is. This guy, Lazarus, he started it in like 1986 or something like that, based off, it's in Tennessee. And so I think it was the guy that assassinated Martin Luther King, tried to escape a penitentiary and only got like 8 miles out. And so it's a 100-mile race. This guy was like not impressed that the guy only made it 8 miles. And so he made it a 100-mile race. So, yeah, there's a documentary on it, which I still need to watch. But yeah, it's nuts. Like, you don't know when it's going to happen. He like blows a conch shell, and then that means like it's going to start in an hour. And to start the race, he lights a cigarette, and then you go. And it's like, I don't know how long the laps are, but every time you do a lap, you have to find like a book that relates to the number on your jersey, rip it out, and then you start going the other way. And I think in the entire history, like 17 people have only completed this race. Like, it's nuts. Like, the guy's crazy as hell, and it's awesome. So it just started this morning.
So where does it happen?
Frozen Head State Park. It's like a state park in Tennessee, like out in the mountains.
We need to get
Google it.
I will. We need to get somebody. Again, building in public, nation.
Mm-hmm.
Building in public. If anybody listening right now knows somebody who's completed or is doing or has attempted. Attempted the Barclay Challenge. We want to have them on the show.
Yeah, I think you have to be invited only. Again, and they don't, like I said, you don't know when it takes place between like late March, early April, because they don't want people coming to watch. So it's very low key, but it's definitely gaining momentum as people have learned about it over the past few years. Just because it's so unique, like it is. There's no other race like it.
Well, yeah. So, is it one of those races, Nicole, where enough people don't know about it because it's one of those extreme things, and if public gets a hold of it, people are going to chastise it and say, "What are you doing?" Or is it, or what do you think? Or is it just for a very niche audience that is into intense activities like this? Probably, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think people. I mean, I'm sure some people might like chastise it or say that's just crazy because it is. Yeah. But
yes.
Again, it's those people that are trying to do something truly unique and really challenging that are going after it, and I do think because it's been so quiet and probably not known for so long that's why people are so interested in it now, because it's a little crazy.
No kidding. So the Barclay Challenge starting today, and it will go for how long? 100 days?
No, it's 100 miles. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the average is for something like that, especially since they have to turn around. And yeah, it goes through the night. You have to have like a compass, and you've got to, again, find pages. You have to rip pages out of a book to prove that you did your lap. And those are hidden. Like, they're not just like waiting for you somewhere. Like, you have to go find them.
It sounds like kind of Survivor-ish. And I bring that up because you have a friend, you said somebody you know has competed on Survivor.
She's on it right now. Like, she's on the live one. I haven't watched Survivor since my college roommate loved it. So 20 years ago. So I reactivated my Paramount Plus account though, and I've been watching it. And she's on the winning tribe right now. So yeah, her name's Liz Wilcox. Got in touch with her yesterday, sent her the scheduling link.
Awesome.
She will be joining us soon. I have not heard back from her yet, but she's probably got a lot going on. Clearly, she's not filming right now, but
yes,
everything's airing right now. But yeah, they were in Fiji. So, I mean, she was in Fiji for 3 months, was able to take 3 months off of her business. She's an email marketing strategist, which is another cool topic we could talk about because she kills it with that. So, yeah.
Oh, so that's breaking news here in the lab. We're working on getting. I didn't realize she's a current Survivor participant. Yep. That's really cool. So, did you know Nicole when she was gone off filming Survivor? She was off doing that, or because she's a friend or somebody in the community, or
yeah, she couldn't tell anybody, so nobody knew. Like, it was just kind of like Liz is going like because she also has like a huge Facebook group, and it was kind of like, hey, I'm taking some time off. I'll be back. Because I don't think she could share that she was going. So yeah, she could tell us all those details. But yeah, she was, again, able to take 3 months off, and her business kept going, which is amazing. So yeah. And so yeah, she's on there. If you guys watch, I think the new one comes out tonight. Liz Wilcox is her name. She's on the NAMI tribe, NAMI. So
well, it's got me interested now. So now so Paramount Plus is getting a subscription from old Uncle Keith over here because I want to go watch Manny Wilcox. No, it's
Liz Wilcox. She's on the NAMI tribe, if that's how you
okay. Okay, there we go. So there you go. Survivor. Can you believe that show is still on the air?
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, I was clicking through, it's like season 46. I was like, oh my God. I clearly have not watched this in 20 years, but
there's something comfortable about it, isn't there, Nicole?
Yeah.
And I think it just, okay, back to the building in public theme. I'm betting on that's what's will happen with this show. There's a comfort level, a routine level. For the last 20 years, we have so I'm gonna do a little bit of refresh. I'll be right back here. I'm gonna do a quick break here. So hang tight here. I'm gonna do that there. Boom. There we go. We're back here. Look at that. Oh, so everybody just left the show and my thing refreshed. We're back.
You kicked everybody off.
Yes, I kicked them
You voted everybody off the island.
That's it. Now they all came back. So we were talking about Survivor. And as I was saying to you about this ambition with this show, I think that there's people like comfort food, Nicole. We like routine. And Survivor's on tonight. Survivor's been on the same day, or it's been moved around the schedule, but I guess the idea is that it's always on. Every single season you can get comfortable, you have that comfort food with Survivor. My hope is with this show, the same thing. People get used to waking up with Keith and Nicole, the accountability message, oh my God, Nicole's going to do the Goggins challenge. She's inspiring me. I guess I better get going. Okay, Keith's challenging us to sponsor because they're going to keep going fast with this business thing here. If we don't get behind them, they're going to take off and it's only going to cost me more money down the road. It's true. You're going to want to catch up to Nicole or myself. Well, I'm inviting you guys to get on the bus right now. So I'll tell you guys something. Nicole knocked on my door months ago. So she's getting in on an extremely awesome opportunity right now. She's like, oh yeah, I'm just like a day oneer, everybody. So y'all want to jump on the lab with Keith and Nicole? We're inviting you. Numbers are only going up right now, Nicole. So potential Survivor guests coming up here on the lab one in a few weeks, a friend of Nicole's. But Nicole, let's jump into, let's segue the conversation to some of the topics here as we wrap up the show. Why don't shall we introduce BAPL HQ and introduce Bubbles and Business Side? Let's do it. Let me show you what I'm working on here. All right. So the whole building in public theme. So I want to show you guys something here that is a virtual representation of the Business Athlete Performance Lab. I'm inviting anybody watching right now or listening right now, like, hey, you want to come hang out with Keith and Nicole? This is the place you can do it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's the world's first hybrid space for creators, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that are looking for a place to hang out, collaborate, get some work done, meet some people. Think of it, Nicole, like a gym.
Yeah.
Right? Think of it like a place where, so Nicole's going to build her space. So Nicole's philosophies are business related, athletic related. She believes in the intersection of athletics and business. And she's like, yeah, I believe in those philosophies. And I like to hang out with those kind of people. So she's like, hey, Keith, how about if I brought Bubbles and Biz into the lab? I'm like, yeah, why don't you do that? Why don't you create a space in there and invite your tribe into the lab? Because who knows who they'll meet?
Right.
Right. So everybody's wondering, so what can you do inside of BAPL headquarters and in this collaborative space? Meet people, have frictionless experiences. It's really about creating presence. So what I'm going to show you here, think of it as a messaging experience, but in laid out in a fashion like a building. So I'm going to show you a flat top-down experience of BAPL headquarters, the Business Athlete Performance of headquarters, and then I'm going to break it down into the different floors that we're building, where we're going to be offering experiences to communities. Okay, so why don't we do that? Let's just, I know there's nobody in the office right now. And again, I'm going to manage expectations here. We're early phases. So when I talk about building in public, we're showing you things behind the scenes, inviting people in early into what we're building here in the space. So Nicole, let me do a share screen. And if you're listening right now on the podcast, hey, Nicole, you know, we're able to get these shows done, spliced up, and published on the podcast in like less than 15 minutes, 12 minutes or so.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
My friends in legacy media are like, how are you doing this? I'm like, knock on my door.
Something you like to know.
Yes. So again, creators and entrepreneurs that are like, hey, I have this knowledge in my head. I don't know how to unlock it. Well, you're watching us gain knowledge right now that we're going to sell one day. Learning how to do a live show and produce it and chop it up and help legacy media companies and help people. If you want to do your own Keith and Nicole in a box, like you maybe want to be Steve and Lisa or whatever, and you want to start your own local show in the community or local show for your niche, maybe you don't want to do Business Athlete Performance Lab topics, Nicole.
Yeah, could be anything.
That's it. Maybe somebody's like, I want to learn how to create a show and create a community around my voice. Maybe you want to deliver things a little differently than how Keith and Nicole do, but you don't know how to start, don't know where to start. Well, we can teach you because of what we're doing this every single day. We got a template, a formula. Every single day as we're building in public, I'm showing you how we're doing this. So I invite you to come up, just jump into the lab with us. Come hang out. All right. So let me just show this to you guys. Nicole, hang tight here. Boom. Okay. So here we go. So I've invited in the creators of BAPL HQ. It is so BAPL HQ is built on ROAM. ROAM is this fantastic platform started by Howard Lerman and the gang, John Brood and the gang there at ROAM. They have built the world's first office of tomorrow. I hope I'm representing them right. Howard, yeah. John, the office of the hybrid virtual office of tomorrow. And what you're seeing here, Nicole, is a top-down representation of the Business Athlete Performance Lab. All right, so let me take you through it. So on the right-hand side, you're going to see reception. So anybody joining this space, just like I want you to, every time I'm explaining to you this, Nicole, I want you to think about the real world. Okay. When you walk into a gym, what do you see? A reception area, right?
Yep. You'll check in with your card. Yeah.
That's it. So here's the reception. So anybody jumping in will join in reception. And then you're going to see into the gym, just like you would in the real world. And you're like, oh, I see Keith in an office, is in his office. Oh, I see Keith might be in the gym. Or I see that, oh, there's Nicole's office. Or there's the BAPL collab space. You can see the different offices built around here. So visually, right off the bat, Nicole, you can see people visually in their space. So people that are like, exactly. It creates this idea of presence. Okay. So what happens now, like the real world, and here's where it gets really cool. And in my point of view, here's the magic. Frictionless experiences. Like the real world, if Nicole's in her office right now and Keith's in his office, Nicole's like, oh, I see Keith's there right now. I see his door's open because I can set my door. I can set my door whether I want it to be a knock required, do not disturb, or door wide open.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, his door's open. I want to go ask him a question. So instead of fumbling over schedules and wondering who's available, I'm available, when they're going to set this whole thing up, you actually have the ability to just jump on in and go take a look at go talk to Keith instantly, immediately. Frictionless experience.
Yep.
Now, if I take myself and put myself in the gym here, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try. Oh, it did work. I'm not sure what you guys are seeing right now. What did you see when I did that? There we go.
Yeah, just now that it highlights the gym, like it has the green around it with your picture in it. And don't different rooms have like their audio only, some have video, like can't you set your settings, right?
That's it, Nicole. Yeah, so I'm in the gym right now. You can't see that. But you see the top right corner of this room? It shows like a video icon.
Uh-huh.
So that means that this room is a frictionless video experience.
Gotcha.
So if you see me in here and you walk in here, your camera, my camera, immediately open, start displaying your video, my audio, and we can immediately start talking like we would in the real world.
Love it.
Yeah, no friction. There's no worry about scheduling. It's just, so here's how I have been using it, and here's how I'm inviting Business Athlete Nation to use it as well. So I'm a solopreneur. I'm a hybrid worker. I work from home. On the other side of this floor here is my gym. I spend time in the gym throughout the day. My life of professional and personal are largely blended together.
I think a lot of ours are. I mean, it's about, but being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of intertwined personal and business.
That's right. So I'm suspecting that if you and I lived in the same city and we trained in the same gym and we're friends or we're colleagues or acquaintances, and I'm like, hey, I got a question for Nicole, I might just walk up to you while you're in the gym, maybe going for a walk on the treadmill or maybe doing, I don't know, something, just doing a lift because I know how much you love strength training. But you're like, hey, I want to go talk to Keith. You just walk on over and talk to me.
Yeah.
Right? No friction.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so use those metaphors, and it's the same experiences throughout this place here. So we have different offices, we have audio experiences. So this BAPL collab space over here, this one here is an audio experience only. So you walk into this room here, it's instant audio channel open. So again, just like real world, you walk in and you're like, I got a quick question for Nicole or a bunch of people you want to collab. So you never should complain about having no space to collab.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you where we're building Bubbles and Biz. So on the right-hand side here, you're going to see the overlay of the whole facility. The Live in the Lab Theater, this is spectacular. I can't show this on the video. I've invited somebody from Rome to do a better demo for us. So I've invited them to come here in the next couple of weeks. But the Live in the Lab Theater is exceptional, Nation, because you can address an entire audience. You can do whisper mode in the audience. It really replicates the real world in this virtual space.
It's cool. I know, you can can't you be like backstage and then that's like presenter and like you grab your seat in the audience. Like they really make it, as much as it's virtual, like it feels real. It's really cool. You're bang on. Yeah. So I'm excited for you to use it with Bubbles and Biz. I'm excited for you to try it out. I know we're going to work more upon it inside the lab. I got to tell you, I had always had this vision for this product, and then it showed up on my radar about a month ago, and I became instant fanboy. And I was like, I got to get in there. So got in right away. They were a little, they got ahead. I wasn't even finished building the business yet, and I'm like, oh my god, I got to get in there. So it's been this collaborative build. We're slowly going to start building more marketing efforts around it, and so forth. Right now, it's free to come in. So if you want to come in, I'm inviting you to come in for free. We are going to charge. So you want to connect with creators, entrepreneurs, ideators, Nicole, Keith, and others. I'm inviting you in now to help us build a community to get to a point where we're going to start charging some cash. And again, the sponsoring, things are only going up, frankly. Mm-hmm. So the building metaphor, Nicole, if you look on the right-hand side here, so here's what I'm envisioning. Let me lay it out for you. So on the business side, we're going to have different courses and communities around business topics and ideas throughout the day. So you might have a breakout session where you can come in and learn how to use AI. Maybe somebody like Kurt Stein's like, yeah, I want to do an AI course.
So, hey, Kurt, hey, Kurt was shaking, man. No, Kurt hasn't agreed to this, but just talking out loud. Kurt's a friend of the lab.
Stayed out there anyway.
Kurt's a friend of the lab. So maybe somebody's like, hey, I want to do an AI course. You might come to the business floor, right? Here's where it really, I think, visually comes together. So I'm envisioning that we're going to build communities around these courses where people want to come in and learn how to, train to do an ultramarathon. Like, Nicole's going to take her experience of this ultramarathon 100 and package it up into a course so that when she's done it, she can help you do it next. So those people that are doing those courses might hang out in this floor, just like the real gym. Marathon 100 course, ultramarathon triathlon, speed room, talking to Glenn Bruce about that, and so forth. So I'm envisioning these different spaces where people can come hang out. And then, of course, the Bubbles and Biz floor. So, Nicole, I've created a space for you and your team, your whole crew, right? So I got Nicole's studio, I got a hangout space, the Bubbles and Biz collab. I just quickly threw it together for yourself to see in the audience to kind of get a sense of. But those of you that are watching right now or are intrigued by this, I'm more than happy to create your own space for you. Mm-hmm. I know that when we sometimes are working remote or disparate or disconnected, it gets lonely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this might be cool. A space you can hang out.
Yeah. Well, and it's cool too. It's like it has Slack capabilities, so instant messaging. It's like everything. They thought of like Slack, Zoom, anything else that I'm missing. They've put it all in one package in one place. So
yeah, you're bang on. It's a great analogy. Thanks for sharing that, because it is a Slack/Zoom thing. I know when they created it, when Howard and his team first put it together, if I'm explaining it properly, again, sorry, Howard, if I'm not, but I believe I am. You guys tried, before you created Roam, you took Slack, you took Zoom, and you tried to create this experience of presence, this experience of the virtual office. And you recognize that it wasn't working, so you built it yourself, and this is what you came up with. And Nicole's right. There's so much of a Slack experience in here. Once you get in here, you got persistent messaging, video messaging. It is extremely collaborative. It's you can now have those. What are those experiences? When you walk into somebody in the hallway, Nicole.
Water cooler.
Yeah, just like just those. Mm-hmm. Experiences, you walk into someone and say, hey, I forgot to ask Nicole about this. So because you can kind of get a sense of presence, I think there's a lot of value in here. So if as you're paying attention and watching this and being curious, I invite you to knock on my door and come ask more questions. And one last thing, Nicole, to personalize this thing, when you go to Bubbles and Biz, you can take your office here, like mm-hmm. Nicole's studio here, and you can do like I did with mine. You can, just like if you walked into my office, you could personalize it so you can see my family. There's my mm-hmm. family. There's my wife. There's a picture of my icon. But the point is, just like a real office, you can have a shelf.
Yep.
So when you walk in, you're like, oh, hey, okay, so that's Nicole. So I get a sense of what Nicole's all about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to update my office. Clearly, I haven't.
Yes, that's okay. Okay, we are just with all of that. Let me just put this back up here. Boom, boom. There we go. All right, so listen, we are wrapping up here. I got a minute left here before we say goodbye. Nicole, what's the rest of your day looking like today, especially as you're journeying on day 8? No, day 4 for you. 5.
No, 6. Yesterday was 5.
Yeah, what's going on with you for that today?
Probably a light jog since I'm going to start. Since I'm starting in less than 24 hours for the Goggins Challenge. So
yes,
today's kind of a rest and recovery. And again, like I said, I'm taking that workout and the suggestions, and I don't know if this is like the entrepreneur in me, but like I'm adjusting as I go for it to like work for me, which anybody, whatever goals we're going after, like I like having a guideline, but we can adjust along the way. So
that's a great tip, especially to end the day. So as Nicole said, if you got something you're working on and it's not working right now, adjust accordingly, right?
Yeah, totally.
There you go. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Who are you talking to today? Sorry, before.
Oh yeah, you're right. So I'm talking to Deanna. Thanks for reminding me. Thanks for reminding me. I'm talking to Deanna Kumpel. Deanna Radulescu. She's joining me today in the lab here. I'm excited to have that conversation. Sorry, Deanna. Joining me here today at noon, live in the lab at noon Central Time. Excited to have that conversation. And of course, tomorrow, back here mornings, we are going to do a LinkedIn teardown with Naomi Rose Everly. I invite you to join us for that. You will learn something. She did mine yesterday. I guarantee you're going to learn something, Nation, as Nicole will. And then again, if you want to sign up for that, I invite you to sign up for the next week's experience and so forth.
Awesome.
Nicole, let's get out of here. This is going to end up on the podcast machines, beta, VHS, CD, all those platforms will be done here in the next 15 minutes. Apple, Spotify, VHS, beta, DVD, CD-ROM, cassette, every platform available in the next 15 minutes.
Awesome.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye-bye, everybody.